Oh, hello everybody. Good evening. So, I'm not going to be here long. So, I'm just going to point out something. And you educated people should be able to see through it, acknowledge it, and know what I'm talking about. So, on the reports, here it says R1. And it says reports that on R1 reports that on the listed date and time, S1 was in possession of the listed property. S1 suffered from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. S1 was taken to Providence Hospital by a friend and placed under arrest. Here it says reports author. Reports author. His name is Legacy User Legacy. That is, hey y'all, that is the officer's name. You people that are online that are making judgment and saying this, be smart. Use your intelligence to where it should be. Before I left the place and getting the report, I asked them detail. What's this? What's that? What's this? R1 is the officer, the police. That one, he knows that. So, Google will tell you. Up here, this is saying, on a police report, what does, and that's missing over there, but it's supposed to be R1. Here it says, all overview. On a police report, R1 typically stands for lights and sirens response. Lights and sirens response mean that the police is coming. They have their lights and their sirens on in their squad cars. The second part here says, here's more detailed explanation. R1 refers to a police response where officers use lights and sirens to travel to an incident. R2, in contrast, R2 usually signifies a normal road conditions response, meaning officers respond without using lights and sirens. I'm going to post this for you all, and I'm going to post it on my YouTube also. It says here, in the context of a police report, R1 again typically refers to a lights and sirens response, meaning an emergency response is required. That says, here's more detailed explanation. Emergency response. R1 signifies a situation where immediate and urgent police attention is necessary, often involving a threat to life or bodily injury. Didn't Daryl Jones shoot himself? Inflict wound, right? Self-inflicted wound. That's a bodily injury. Down here, lights and sirens. The R1 designation indicates that officers should respond to the incident with emergency lights and sirens activated. Other response codes, it says R1 is for emergency responses. Other codes like R2 might indicate normal and conditions. No police attendance required. So for R2, no police attendance required. R1 is the police officer who wrote the report. You can go into more detail. I'll post all three of them. It says the same thing on here. There are results. What does R1 mean in a police report? That's at the top here. Search instead for what does R1 mean in a police report. So nobody try to say, oh, she illiterate, whatever. So I put DIES, but I'll color and shade, and it's DOES, does. or overview. In the context of a police report, this is saying the same thing. R1 typically refers to a lights, sirens response, meaning an emergency response is required. So, there you have it. R1 was not my son. Again, my son's name was never mentioned. He was never implicated, but I'm trying to figure out why y'all haven't asked those people how did or why did the DEA come to my son's house? Why was my son arrested? Walaikum salam rahmatullah, bruh. So ask him, why is he not talking about that? Because he is gunning car. And stop using the internet for insurance. It's mighty funny, he had a stalking order and he's not arrested or in handcuffs, but my son is. Why did he call the feds on my son, then had the audacity to be down at the court building still ratting on my son? So, I'm not going to be here long. I'm done with it. I will post this for you all to see for R1. And you all take care. Remain blessed. I have other positive things to do. These people are hiding behind an internet page using the internet for insurance. And if you don't know what that means, figure it out. If you're on the internet and you stone bluffing and toughing and doing all of this, you should know exactly what I mean by they're using the internet for insurance. See y'all later.